Hello and welcome back. We're reading A Course in Miracles, the workbook for student. And today we're on lesson 14, and Kelly and I are going to read together.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start though.
Okay.
God did not create a meaningless world. 1. The idea for today is, of course, the reason why a meaningless world is impossible. What God did not create does not exist, and everything that does exist exists as He created it. The world you see has nothing to do with reality. It is of your own making and it does not exist. Go ahead, Kelly.
Number 2, the exercises for today are to be practiced with eyes closed throughout. The mind-searching period should be short, a minute at most. Do not have more than 3 practice periods with today's idea unless you find them comfortable. If you do, it will be because you really understand what they are for.
3. The idea for today is another step in learning to let go the thoughts that you have written on the world and see the Word of God in their place. The early steps in this exchange, which can truly be called salvation, can be quite difficult and even quite painful. Some of them will lead you directly into fear. You will not be left there. You will go far beyond it. Our direction is towards perfect safety and perfect peace.
With eyes closed, think of all the horrors in the world that cross your mind. Name each one as it occurs to you and then deny its reality. God did not create it, and so it is not real. Say, for example, God did not create that war, and so it is not real. God did not create that airplane crash, and so it is not real. God did not create that disaster, and so it is not real.
Number 5, suitable subjects for the application of today's idea also include anything you are afraid might happen to you or to anyone about whom you are concerned. In each case, name the disaster quite specifically. Pardon me. Do not use general terms. For example, do not say, God did not create illness, but God did not create cancer or heart attacks or whatever may arouse fear in you.
I see, just being more specific.
Yeah, be more specific.
This is your personal repertory of horrors at which you are looking. These things are part of the world you see. Some of them are shared illusions, and others are part of your personal hell. It does not matter. What God did not create can only be in your own mind apart from His. Therefore, it has no meaning. In recognition of this fact, conclude the practice periods by repeating today's idea. God did not create a meaningless world.
Number 7, the idea for today can, of course, be applied to anything that disturbs you during the day. Aside from the practice periods, be very specific in applying it. Say, God did not create a meaningless world. He did not specify the situation which is disturbing to you, and so it is not real. That's the reading for today.
Okay.
Pardon me, what did you hear in this?
Well, my takeaway is that when we don't live in fear, we are not going to exude fear. And this feels a little bit more like energy. So
Yeah,
not being afraid keeps you out of that headspace, and therefore you don't exude something, because I do think that what we think about puts energy towards you can manifest. So this is almost
absolutely.
the repeal of that.
Yeah,
Take that back, transmute it, and realize that it isn't real. And hopefully these horrors that um, happen um, evaporate. They just kind of
exactly.
dematerialize.
Oh, I love that. I love
Mhm.
that for sure. What I heard is anything that's not God, which, because God is only love and only peace, that is all God is.
Mhm.
Anything that is not that is how we create um, a meaningless world. Like those things don't exist.
Mhm.
Remember in previous conversations, maybe not on the recordings, but we've said like my book appears to be because it's a certain frequency that it
Right.
exists, but ultimately it doesn't exist. So if something is small as even my bookmark
Mm-hmm.
can appear real, it's not real. So if these little things are not real, then these big things, the war, the airplane crash, or whatever disaster or whatever illness you want to refer to don't exist, then um, it seems more obvious,
Right.
because anything that doesn't bring you peace,
Mm-hmm.
or not bring you peace, because that peace just is.
Yeah.
Peace is.
Yeah.
Anything that takes away from your peace is
Mm-hmm.
an illusion and is
Not
creating
from
this
God.
meaningless world, that
Yeah.
because God doesn't do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Our direction is towards perfect safety and perfect peace. Well, who doesn't want that, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So especially when you look at world events, well, and we just had a plane crash in Toronto not too
Mm-hmm.
long ago, what, 2 days ago or ago? I don't
Yep.
remember. I'm on holidays, so I
The day
don't
you
remember
left.
when that was. Yeah, it was Monday.
Yep.
So, the plane crashes, and then, there's threats of nuclear wars and things like that. And um, I guess they're just threats. And so even if they do occur, they're meaningless.
Right.
And yeah, it's hard to wrap your head around it, because you're shown videos, or I mean, you don't really trust the media, but
No. But every time you see an image, you're forced on some level to
it
um,
makes it
put
real.
put some meaning toward behind it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because again, in number one, the world you see has nothing to do with reality. It
Right.
is of your own making, and it does not exist.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that, pardon me, that does exist exists as he created it, not as we perceive it or think
Right.
it or
Yeah.
even see it, because it,
It's all an
it is
illusion
of
anyway.
our, yeah.
Huh.
So 3 practice periods with eyes closed. Think of all the horrors in the world that cross your mind, and name it as it occurs to you. God did not create it, and so it is not real.
Mm-hmm.
God did not create that war, and so it is not real. Yeah,
God did
and
not
like you say,
create.
you're putting energy towards the war that you're seeing, and therefore it manifests. And if God did not create that war, so it
Yeah.
is not real.
Yeah.
It's a
So there
real
must be there must be the opposite of this that does live and breathe on some kind of a level that creates this dark energy, because can we really deny that people are dying? Uh,
Are
I
there
get, I
people?
get, well, yeah, you can go back to that fundamentally, but there's something in this world that is creating that energy of negativity and darkness so that it keeps us sad and afraid.
Hmm.
So you almost have to acknowledge that in order to also let that to be, no, I'm going to put on my shield, I am going to go forth and fight that. Or is it literally all an illusion?
Yeah, it's literally all an illusion.
Yeah.
And what you just said, the idea for today is another step in learning to let go the thoughts that you have on the world and see a. Oh, sorry, let me say that again. The idea for today is another step in learning to let go the thoughts that you have written on the world and see the word of God in their place. So they're not referring to the Bible here either.
No.
We're also learning who God is in
Mm-hmm.
its intended way.
Yeah.
It's not a religion, and it's not a person, and it's not whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We're also learning that God in a different way you know,
Yeah.
than we're taught.
Then the
So it's
conditioning
really,
calls for.
sorry?
Then the conditioning calls for.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah.
Then it says, just to follow in there from that, the early steps in this exchange, which can truly be called salvation, can be quite difficult and even quite painful.
Yeah. Some of them will lead you directly into fear. You will not be left there. You will go far beyond it.
Our direction is not toward perfect safety. Our direction is toward perfect safety and perfect peace.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Well,
idea for
that's good.
today,
I feel more powerful than ever.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
There is that because God is in us.
Yep.
And when you start looking at all the things you create, like I'm in Mexico. I'm afraid to catch a bus. I'm afraid to be hurt if I go out at night and la la la, like all the
Yep.
stuff. And it's all an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm meant to die here in Mexico, which I really hope not, then it's going to happen whether I'm happy or afraid or thinking about it or not thinking about it.
Yep. Yep.
What God did not create does not exist. It's a bit of a mind bender.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to spend some time on this one
On the
doing
beach.
the on the beach. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. So thank you. That was really good, and it's
Yeah.
5:55 at home.
Perfect. Yep, it is. You're right. Nice.
Yeah. I'll just end the recording here. Thank you.
Okay.